After 4 nights in the futuristic streets of Singapore, we crossed the land border into Malaysia, where dense palms replace glass skyscrapers. A city where history peeks out from every corner, in crumbling shop fronts and bright murals, in the rhythm of trishaws blasting music, and in the scent of grilled satay curling through the streets. Waterways wind through town, and just around the corner, Jonker Street bursts to life. A kaleidoscope of red lanterns, drifting aromas, and the kind of crowds that move like a slow, steady tide. It didn't charm us right away.
So if I'm being honest, we didn't get off to a great start in Malacca.
But Malacca is the kind of place that grows on you, if you let it in. Our arrival in Malacca didn't go exactly to plan. The heat was relentless, a few logistics fell through, and we weren't sure what kind of rhythm this place had yet.
We arrived on the bus. We were dropped off near a hotel, which was supposed to be about maybe a 10-minute walk. It was a little bit more than that. At one point, we stopped at a mall to see if we could just take a Grab or a ride share to get to the hotel, and did not have good luck with that. I got charged a waiting fee even though I was at the pickup point and the driver wouldn't pull forward. And then some other drivers canceled on us. We got to our hotel, which we had prepaid, only to find out that they required a cash deposit and we hadn't hit the ATM yet in Malaysia. So just little things, little obstacles, little barriers. Didn't make it the best introduction, but I think it's gonna get better from here.
Malacca is layered. Chinese temples tucked between colonial shop houses, tandoori ovens next to taco stands, a mosque's call to prayer just down the road from a Catholic church. It's a true cultural crossroads, and that richness shows up in unexpected ways. We visited during Ramadan, a sacred month for Muslims who make up the majority population in Malacca and the broader Malaysia. Many fast from sunrise to sunset, so you'll notice a quieter rhythm during the days. Some places stay closed until nightfall. Others operate quietly throughout the day. As a traveler, it's important to respect the culture and the pace of the place you're in. It's one of those moments where travel reminds you to slow down and meet a place on its own terms.
So I was reading a travel blog and somebody described Malacca as wonderfully weird, and I have to say, after being here for a couple days, I get it. Not weird in a bad way, but it's such an interesting confluence of different cultures throughout the year. It is a really fascinating place to visit.
Malacca's been a busy crossroads for hundreds of years. It started as a strong kingdom back in the 1400s, and then the Portuguese, Dutch, and British came through, each leaving their own mark on the city's culture, food, and buildings. Today, mosques, churches, and temples sit side by side, and every street has its own story. It's a living mosaic, a mix of languages, flavors, and traditions that keep changing, but always feel rooted in history. Just a short walk from the riverfront, and a bit of a climb, sits St. Paul's Church, or what's left of it. Built by the Portuguese in the early 1500s, it's one of Malacca's oldest landmarks. The path to the top winds past stone steps and shaded trees, and once you reach the ruins, you're rewarded with sweeping views over the city and the river. The church itself is quiet and crumbling, but there's something powerful about standing in a place that's watched over Malacca for centuries. It's a peaceful break from the bustle below, and well worth the uphill walk. Not far from the hill, you'll land in Dutch Square. You can't miss it. Everything here is bold red. The church, The clock tower, the museum buildings. It's the kind of place that feels made for postcards. Busy, bright, a little chaotic, and full of charm. For something more modern, the Taming Sari Tower is a fun stop, and you'll probably spot it before you even decide to go up. The tower rises about 110 meters into the air and does a full, slow spin, giving you a 360-degree view of the city in just over 7 minutes. It runs every 10 to 15 minutes throughout the day, so you're never waiting too long. From the top, you can see it all. The winding river, Dutch Square, the coast, and rooftops stretching all the way to the horizon. And of course, there's Jonker Street. It runs right through the heart of Chinatown and has been a hub for trade and vendors for centuries, going all the way back to the 17th century when Dutch settlers moved the wealthy merchants here. These days, it's a mix of old and new. Antique shops sit next to trendy cafes, and the street is full of color, even during the day. You'll spot traditional Chinese shop houses, street art tucked into side alleys, and storefronts selling everything, from handcrafted goods to durian ice cream. And when the sun goes down, the street transforms. The lanterns come alive, the crowds gather, and the night market buzzes with energy. Malacca at night is lively, colorful, and a little unpredictable. Exactly the kind of vibe that makes you want to wander and see what's around the next corner.
There's a really great cafe culture, so if you just want to sit and chill, enjoy a coffee, enjoy a tea, there's plenty of places for you to do that. You can stop and have Mexican food. You can catch a ride on a tricycle that has Spider-Man on it and sing Baby Shark. So there's just a little bit of everything here in Malacca.
We didn't do a full-on food tour in Malacca, but food is a big part of life here. You'll find a mix of Malay, Chinese, and Indian flavors, all crammed into the same street. One of our most memorable meals? A build-your-own noodle bowl. We dutifully selected our meat and veggies and our soup base without knowing that we sat down to a bowl of mala. What is mala, you ask? A spicy Chinese dish made with Szechuan peppercorns and chili oil, known to numb your mouth.
After that meal, my lips are tingling, and my nose is running.
It's one of those meals where your mouth is on fire, your nose is running, and somehow you just keep going back for another bite.
There's a really beautiful river walk. There are lots of shops, restaurants, bars, cafes, thrifty places that you can stop along the way. There's really pretty colored buildings. So that is an absolute must-do while you're here.
The river is what put Malacca on the map, literally. Back in the 1400s, it was the main artery for trade between East and West. Ships from China, India, the Middle East, and Europe all passed through here, and the riverbanks were packed with warehouses, spice traders, and markets. Today, things look a little different, but the river's still the city's heartbeat. The old shop houses now hold cafes, bars, and guest houses. Tour boats glide up and down with bright lights and music. Murals stretch along the walls, giving the whole place a kind of open-air gallery vibe. It's one of the best ways to take in Malacca. Slow, colorful, and always changing, just like the city itself.
We're here for 3 nights, and for us that's plenty of time to get around, to see and do anything that you want. You could stay here longer if you're looking just for a nice break, a nice chill time between some of the bigger cities, but we've really enjoyed our stop in Malacca, and it's been a great option, especially if you're like us and you're wanting to do more land travel through Malaysia, specifically a really good stopping point between Singapore and Kuala Lumpur. So check it out.
After a few days here, it's clear why Malacca feels so welcoming. Friendly faces, a safe vibe, and a real sense of community everywhere you go. It's the kind of place where you can slow down, soak in history, and get a taste of Malaysia's rich culture without the rush. Malacca makes a perfect stopover, a vibrant introduction to everything Malaysia has to offer. So whether you're here for the food, the history, or the culture, Malacca leaves you with more stories than you expect, and maybe a little spice you didn't see coming.